Hello and welcome to the Unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. My name's Corey and I'm joined by my co-host Corey.
Sup?
What's going on, buddy?
Living the dream.
Couple great days of BSHL hockey.
Yeah, well, for you, I missed Friday.
Well, you got to watch the stream at least.
I did, and that made me even more miserable because I think I missed the game of the year.
It was a pretty good game. Want to get right into it?
Let's do it. Talking about that game, the LC Buckduck Hawks beat the Bucktoosh JCs 8-7 in overtime. A few of the highlights, goals and points in that game. LC's Alex Arsenault, 2 goals, 4 points. You were telling me that your dad was a real fan of this guy, huh?
Yeah, my dad's been coming. My parents have both been coming to the Hawks games this year, which is nice to see them out and enjoying some hockey. I think partially because of the podcast, partially my sister just talks up how much fun she has at the games, so they wanted to come try it out, and they're enjoying it, so it's awesome. But yeah, they've been to all the Hawks games. He really likes Alex Arsenault, man. He's like, that kid's very talented. So, he's a good player. It was my first time seeing him because I wasn't at the Bucktoosh game.
Okay.
The first one. So, good player. Is clearly a big addition for the Hawks.
Yes. The Hawks really needed this win. I'm going to get into the rest of the scores and we'll talk a little bit about this game. So, Robbie Graham of the Hawks, 2 goals, 5 points. And guess what? In a future game, it gets better. So, LC, Danick Crate, the game-winning goal, 3 points on the night. Trey Lewis, 1 goal, 3 points. JC's Samuel Leblanc, 2 goals, 3 points. Jacob Ains, 1 goal, 2 points. And the JC's captain, Michael Leblanc, 1 goal, 2 points. So this game was just unbelievable. There are negatives and positives on both sides.
The JCs came out, had a really good start. They looked really good. They were missing Logan Timmins, so a key piece. They definitely didn't have their full roster, but they came out and played well. Daigle looked shaky. I think he's better than he's playing right now.
He is. I think Bucktoosh is a really good team. I really do. I think one of the things Bucktoosh kind of does in the later portions of games is rely on Alex Collette way too much. They let their guard down just a little bit. And when you're going into the third period, 5-2, leading, and you end up losing 8-7, there needs to be a sit-down talk with the team because that shouldn't be acceptable.
Yeah. The Hawks just started scoring. And, one big factor that I'm going to say, the crowd. The crowd in LC, in Rishabakto, electric. They scored 1 goal. Crowd cheered a little bit. They scored a second. The crowd got louder. Then they were down by 1 goal. Crowd was going nuts. Started to hear a little bit of a Go Hawks Go chant. An interesting timeout by the Hawks. The Hawks took a timeout, and I don't think any coaching staff said a single word to a player. The players took the time out and talked to each other, which I thought was kind of interesting. And you could see them formulating their plan. And then they came out and scored a goal, tied it up, went into overtime.
If you could give multiple C's on a jersey to a team, to multiple players in a team, Trey Lewis could have one. Danick Crate could have one. Elijah Francis could have one. Robbie Graham could have one. Scotty Sack could have one. Mackenzie Brown wasn't there that night, but he could have one. You got such a great veteran presence in the Hawks.
I mean, you haven't even gone deep enough. I mean, you've got Marc-Andre Arsenault. You've got Hannah that could have one. You've got Andy
Wayne
Joseph,
Jones.
who's the leader. Wayne Jones is the leader. This is a great team. Clearly some depth. They're not clicking right now fully, but it felt like a really good win for the Hawks.
Yeah.
And, that goal by Crate in overtime was phenomenal. Man, that feed from Arsenault, that's one of my favorite goals of the year. Just a beautiful. That was like Valcourt and Bernard level. Like that, they set up that play pretty regularly, and Crate just
Cratezilla, might I say.
Cratezilla, the skill. Yeah, they're a great team. But yeah, the JCs came out, played well. Alex Collette, as always, he's phenomenal. The good news is we don't have to wait very long for a rematch.
Nope.
1 week from tonight in Baktouche.
Yes.
So, get out. The last 2 games have gone to overtime. They've been phenomenal. So if you're going to get out to one Hawks game this year, one JC's game this year, this might be the one.
I heard someone say, and this one really stopped me in my tracks, and it made me think. They said, if Colette was with the Hawks, this wouldn't be fair for the league. Because you would have no weak spot in the Hawks.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with the Hawks for me and their goaltending is that Babineau I don't know as well. He's a good goalie. You can tell that he's a good goalie. Daigle, the Hawks wouldn't have won the cup last year without Daigle.
No.
He played phenomenal in the finals, especially that last game, got the shutout. Like, Julien Daigle is a very capable goaltender.
He is.
So I don't know if he's in his own head or what's going on, but get that confidence back, and he's one of the better goalies in the league. There's nothing wrong with him.
No, I think being in his own head, I get that too, because there's such hype because of last season. They went 15-0, and they ended up winning the the South Division Championship.
Yeah.
You couldn't have wrote a better story for the Hawks. The games that they did lose, they were very shorthanded. 7 games with the JCs, they're bitter rivals. There wasn't this season is such a great season too, but for the entire league. Last season was really the Hawks season.
Yeah, I agree. This has been a phenomenal year of hockey, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did last year. The Hawks have been struggling. I have no doubt that that's going to turn around. They're going to be a contender come playoff time.
Oh, for sure.
And in talking about upcoming Hawks games, one of the games I'm most looking forward to the rest of this season is only a couple weeks away, and that's Hawks versus Miramichi.
Yeah.
In Elsipogtog or in Rishabakto. Man, I love Hawks Miramichi.
Yeah.
There's so many good games coming up in the next couple of weeks as the season winds down. Playoffs can get underway. Yeah. So
Hawks Miramichi is always a nostalgic one for me because that's my first game that I saw of the BSHL.
Yeah. What was the second game on Friday night?
Second game, we have Tracadie beating Shippagan, also in overtime. Tracadie's Riley Scott, 2 goals, 3 points. Pierre-Luc Wallet, 1 goal, 3 points. And in Shippagan, Luke Williams, 2 goals, 3 points. Shippagan's Jan Purde, 1 goal, 2 points. And Shippagan's Marc-Antoine Robichaud, 2 assists on that night.
So we were hoping to get to that game. The weather did not cooperate with us, so we did not make it to Tracadie, which sucked because that looked like it was a phenomenal game. Yeah. I'm not going to say that I'm heartbroken because I got to go see that LC game, and that was equally phenomenal. But
my day started thinking I'm going to Shippagan or Tracadie. Then you were like, weather's not really good. We're going to do Rishabuktu instead. I left to go to Rishabuktu, and the roads were so poor. I'm not going to use the colorful language that I would usually use. But I just turned around and I said, I'm skipping this one. I'm not comfortable. I went to my mom's yesterday after the game in Dalhousie, and the roads weren't good. Now we're 2 in the morning, and I'm driving, and because I got to get to my dog and my cat that it's at my mom's. So spent the night at my mom's, but the roads were so wasn't a blizzard, but I just don't like that driving condition.
Yeah. So now let's talk about last night's game.
River Valley beat Dalhousie 10-6 in something that I didn't see coming at all. And here's another first for the channel. River Valley's Peter Traynor. 3 goals, 8 points.
Pretty impressive.
Yep, that's the first. I've seen 5-point games. This is my first 8-point game I've seen this season. River Valley's David Brewer, 1 goal, 5 points. Adam Crow got the hat trick as well. And in Dalhousie, Jesco Bernard, 2 goals, 4 points. Francis Thibault, 2 goals, 3 points. And Ryan Mockler, 1 goal, 3 points. Fantastic game, though.
Yeah, really great game. We made the trip for it. Weather was not phenomenal on the way back, but weather was fine on the way there, so that helps.
Yeah.
Got to Dalhousie. It was your first time at a Dalhousie game in Dalhousie.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience?
I think the Dalhousie fans might be my favorite fans.
Why is that?
Because they're our fans. I got recognized by so many people. I want to shout out Jason Babin, who just took a seat right next to me. Hey boys, love your content. Great job. Keep it up. That's what the league needed. Like, just the nicest people. We saw Travis there, Travis Roby Show. Fantastic guy. Just the people there and everybody around us. Like, when the fight happened, there was like 5 or 6 people around us were like, BSHL, did you get that one? Did you record all of it? And there's Cheryl beaming with excitement. She's like, yep, I got all of it.
Yeah, Dalhousie, there's a lot of reasons for me. The franchise has been very supportive of the podcast. I mean, they're just good people. Obviously, I have a very good relationship with Travis Robertshaw. I have a good relationship with a lot of the GMs in the league, though.
Yeah.
And, thanks to all the GMs in the league, because, they don't have to be as kind with me as they are. But, yeah, all the GMs have been phenomenal and making these relationships and being able to schedule interviews. And we're going to have some interviews coming up in the next few weeks with different GMs. Been in contact with most of them, and we're just trying to line up the last few. So hopefully we can interview as many as possible to talk about, post-Christmas, leading into the playoffs, where they're at, what they're thinking, especially with the roster lock coming up pretty soon. So that's something I'm looking forward to personally. Hopefully you guys all enjoy. I know, Corey, you're looking forward to that as well.
I am.
Yeah, Dalhousie again, though. When you get there, you have Eric lets you in, super nice guy, fan of the podcast, big supporter on Facebook. Straight to Travis, who's obviously one of the nicest guys. Man, Chig's Pizza, too. Cheryl spent like a small fortune on Chig's Pizza at the Esso after the game. Like, we went in to get pizza, and some of us buy like a normal amount of pizza. I think Tracy and I bought like 3 or 4. It's no big deal. Cheryl came out with a stack of like 7 pizzas or something. I'm like, what is going on here, Cheryl? Good Lord. She's addicted to the Chig's Pizza.
It's good pizza, though. It's really good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal pizza. We love it, man. It's good pizza. Corey, you've got some barbecue chicken pizza at your house. You're going to be eating that on Tuesday?
I was going to do it today, and my mom wanted some fried chicken. I'm still at my mom's today. She wanted some fried chicken, and tomorrow I'm still at my mom's, and she's doing a ham. So Tuesday I'm eating the barbecue chicken pizza all to myself.
Oh, he's selfish with it.
I might give a piece to my dog. Don't know yet. Depends how she is.
The dog probably deserves it. Depends the day.
Depends the day. Depends the hour.
We're very lucky to have made all these great contacts, Corey. It's been a pretty good time.
Absolutely.
But to go into the game in Dalhousie. So we've talked about the experience, talked about the people, talked about the venue. Love everything. River Valley came out just firing.
Yeah.
Straight away they took a lead.
Can I just shout out one more person before we continue?
Go for it.
Calvin.
Oh yeah, Calvin from River Valley, man.
Is such a good guy.
A nice guy. Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's always very kind to us. We love.
We were right behind the River Valley bench.
That was a pretty good view too.
Yeah, it was awesome. Cheryl, our camera lady, was like petrified because she was sitting in front of me in like a single chair, and she's like, "There's no window here." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "What if a puck hits me?" I'm like, "Just don't get hit by a puck." She's like, "How the hell am I going to do that?"
Yeah, I have all the faith in the world that Calvin would have knocked the puck down.
Oh, yeah. Calvin's a good dude.
So there was a fight, which is an understatement. So let's break it down a little bit. So Doucette got a penalty. Jonathan Doucette got a penalty, came out of the box and you could tell there was going to be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
There's some bad blood there. So McNeil and Doucette go. Doucette knocks McNeil. Definitely wins the fight. You see McNeil's kind of goes over backwards. And then in New Brunswick, in the BSHL, normally you go down, that's the end of the fight. The refs are going to break it up pretty much every time.
Yeah.
I know in Quebec, that doesn't necessarily always happen. But in the BSHL, if you go down, that's the end of the fight. Unfortunately, sometimes it's a trip and you fall down, and that's the end of the fight. This time he got knocked down. And this is where it all starts to go downhill. McNeil gets back up, starts throwing some punches at Doucette. Refs are in the middle, so he can't really get free. Joey Bernard, kind of, Joey being Joey, gets in the way, and as the ref is skating McNeil off the ice, with a whole ice surface, I can't even explain to you how much ice this ref could have skated McNeil on. He skates McNeil, and Bernard moved into it a little bit, but like, come on, bro. He skates McNeil right into Bernard, and then another fight starts, of course, and the ref throws Bernard down onto the ice. McNeil climbs on top of him and starts throwing punches to a defenseless Bernard, which pisses off Yves Caron, who's on the bench. Yves jumps off the bench and comes to the defense of Joey Bernard, which I get. And he laid a few good punches into McNeil. McNeil got a really good takedown. If he doesn't want to play senior hockey anymore, he could go do some MMA with that double leg. That was a good takedown. I don't blame McNeil for this. I don't blame Dalhousie for this. I think Caron should have stayed on the bench. You just don't come off the bench. You never come off the bench. Bernard wouldn't have had to get in the way, but I get it. Like, he shouldn't have thrown the punches after he goes down. When he goes down, get up, take your loss, skate off, it's over. I don't blame any of them. I blame the refs. The refs were atrocious in this. Like, this was just a shit show. We're lucky that River Valley didn't clear the bench. Credit to those guys for having a little bit of discipline and staying on the bench, because it could have been a line brawl. And I would not have minded it. My God, it would have been entertaining for me. But it's not what the league needs, and it's not what I hope to promote with this league. Selfishly, I would have loved it, though. Just so we're clear, selfishly, I would have loved it. But the refs they skate him into Bernard. They take Bernard down and pin his arms, but they don't hold McNeil. McNeil lands a punch. Caron comes off the ice. Caron almost eats shit coming off the bench because he was so mad. He barely lifted his skates coming over the bench, almost bit it, comes off. The refs are grabbing him. He gets double leg takedown. McNeil almost pulls his friggin' shorts off. Like, it was just a mess, dude. And the amount of aggression in the crowd, oh my God. We were surrounded by mostly River Valley fans, some Dalhousie fans. Everybody was pissed off. Then everybody was like, "Do you guys get the video? Post the video." At this moment, the internet, it goes incredibly slow. I've never seen a video upload so slow in my entire life. It was like crickets. But we did get the video, posted it up.
Yep.
And you can go to YouTube. It's not on Facebook anymore. You can go to YouTube and check it out and see what you make of that fight. But in my opinion, the refs, man, they could have avoided all of this.
They really could. What made me laugh was Calvin in front of us just looking at us with his own cell phone in his hand. Like, is it up yet? Is it up yet?
Settle down, guys. Jesus, we know you want to see the fight.
And a few players, too. A few players just looking.
Everybody wants to see the fight, obviously. But yeah, no. And then, like, literally a shift later, you have John Hardy putting Bob Peltier in a headlock, ripping his helmet off, and then landing a punch. When, again, the ref is holding Peltier and not holding Hardy. Yeah. Hardy's free and lands a punch on Peltier. Just like, if there's one takeaway from this, the reffing was god-awful. My God, do better. You need to do better. Sure, the players could have handled themselves better, but that got out of control entirely because of the reffing. I hate the fight rule. I blame Hockey Canada. That reffing, though, not great. Yeah. Lucky there wasn't a riot in that building.
Yeah, I don't know if there would have been a riot. I think everybody around us was pretty excited about the fight. I know some people were mad and arguing about
some people felt like they let McNeil out there to the wolves. Like, nobody jumped out to defend him.
How does this work? And if you don't want me talking about this, just edit it out. But McNeil
Yep.
fought 3 people.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Is he suspended because of that?
He's suspended for a game, I think, because that's his 3rd fight. I don't know what else he got. I think he got a couple games.
But he had a few fights before that.
He had fights before in other games.
Okay.
He only had 1 fight in this game. And again, I don't think he gets penalized for the other 2 fights in any way because, again, the refs kind of led him to the wolves.
Yeah, because that's something that a lot of people asked me about. And I'm like, listen, if it was wrestling related, I'm the brains there. Hockey brain, that's Corey Robichaud. I'm knowledgeable to a point, but your go-to is Corey Robichaud when it comes to that. And
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the Hockey New Brunswick website, you can see the rules and suspensions list for senior hockey. So if you follow that list, you can break it down. And one person who's really good at doing that is Ricky Bassarash. Ricky Bassarash will look at the dude is so accurate, it's kind of creepy, by the way. I'm almost positive he's in charge of discipline for the Beausejour Senior Hockey League. He says he isn't. I've yet to be proven. Anytime that he makes predictions on suspensions, he's damn close every time. It's kind of creepy. But yeah, Cotton will get some games for coming off the bench. I would say that Bernard will get something, even though I don't know that he threw very many punches. He'll get something. Definitely McNeil, because that's his 3rd fight. He'll get at least a game. And I think that's about it. I mean, for coming off the bench, the Dalhousie coach will get a 2-game suspension, because as soon as someone comes off the bench, that's a coach suspension and a fine for the coach. But I think that's about it. Somebody said, will Jonathan Doucette get a suspension? Nah, Jonathan Doucette came out of the box, had a fight, won the fight. That was about the end of Jonathan Doucette doing stuff. I mean, he didn't really do anything wrong. You're allowed to have 1 fight in this league per game. He had 1 fight. I don't even think he threw a punch after the fight was over. He got punched a little bit, and then he was kind of pinned by the refs, and he just kind of stayed away. He did the right thing. I don't think Doucette did anything wrong here at all. And again, I don't really blame the players a ton. I mean, you got to control yourself a little bit better than that, but I understand why they didn't. But I just wish the reffing would have been a little bit better than it was. But that wraps up the games. We're heading into the new year now. We have the rest of this week off. We'll be in Miramichi, weather pending, on Friday. Friday, we will be in Miramichi for Miramichi versus Spring Hill. And in that game in Miramichi versus Spring Hill, unfortunately, Nick Foran is going to be suspended for 1 game for having his 3rd fight against Chauncey O'Toole in that River Valley game. So I'm pissed about that, because I really wanted to see Nick Foran versus Bobby Davis.
Yeah, that's almost like a dream fight in this league, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that's 2 of the best heavyweights in this league, 2 of the best fighters in this league, 2 of the nicest guys in this league too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've never talked with Bobby Davis. We talked with Nick Foran a few months ago. Foran was a class act human being. It was just so awesome.
Yeah, and I think that would be a fight where they'd go, and then the fight would finish, they'd tap each other, probably go to the same locker room and have a beer.
Yeah.
I think that's nothing personal. Those 2 guys are professionals. They're going to have a fight, and they're going to respect each other, which is the way that it is for 95% of the fighting in this league.
Two of my favorite guys in the league, too. I love these 2 guys.
Yeah, big fan of Bobby Davis, man. What a leader. What a great player. Yeah, just like, and 2 of my favorite teams in the league. I love going to River Valley. I love going to Miramichi, and I love watching Spring Hill. So
yeah. Miramichi, it's always an interesting atmosphere at the arena.
Everybody's letting loose on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then Sunday there's game in Bucktouche. Saturday there's a game. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, it's another good weekend coming up next weekend. Corey, we're going to talk about the standings. What do we talk about this episode? I don't even remember, man. I'm blanking. I was so excited about the fight that I'm blanking now.
We'll save the standings for the next one, because I don't have them written down. We got game of the week.
That's probably Elsie versus Bucktouche for me, because I didn't get to see Trackety Shippigan, although
Yeah.
that one looked phenomenal too.
Yeah.
I think when you come down from that many goals down and you get the win on a nice goal like Crate scored, that's got to be game of the week.
Yeah.
Got to be game of the week.
It is game of the week for me as well. It's a polarizing game though, because I'm happy and mad at both teams at different points in the game. And that's all I can really say is LC let in all these goals and had to really fight and claw their way back, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
Bucktouche were a machine in the first half of the game. And then they let their guard down and they depended way too much on Alex Colette. The man's still only a human being. He still bleeds red, you know. You can't let him to the wolves like that every single game. And this isn't the first time we've seen it. I can't wait for the next game. I can't wait for the next game.
The thing with the Hawks is when they're playing how they played in the second half of that game, I don't know that there's any team in the league that can contain that. Like, they were playing as a unit. There's so much skill on the ice for the Hawks. Like, this is, for the most part, the same Hawks from last year.
Yeah.
Even missing Mac Brown in that game.
Yeah.
You have Scotty Sack playing the way that Scotty Sack plays. You know who else I'm going to shout out? Andre Robichaud from the Junior Seahawks was playing for the Senior Hawks as an affiliate, and he looked great out there. Mm-hmm. He played that very much that Bruno Rashore kind of, skating. You didn't see him, and then boom, he's in front of the net, and he's got the puck, and he has a great scoring chance. Laid a couple hits. He's very fast on the ice. I loved watching him with the Rangers. So yeah, he didn't look out of place at all, despite his age and his lack of experience in senior hockey. He looked very comfortable.
I think a key point for a Hawks victory is crisp passes.
Yep. Crisp passes and staying out of the box. The refs love to penalize the Hawks. I don't know what it is, but the refs love to penalize the Hawks. There's a lot of penalties in general that get called, and it's not always like you'll see one slash that gets called. The next time that exact same slash happens, it's not called. So the lack of consistency is very confusing. But if the Hawks can connect their passes, stay out of the box, and just, it's as soon as they click, they're unstoppable. So
a Dalhousie LC finals would be like both teams at their absolute best would be unbelievable. I think we would have game 7, and I think we would have overtime all 7 games.
That's probably not going to happen unless the Hawks move up the standings a bit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for everybody, there's so many series that I'd love to see in this playoff. I would love to see, River Valley and Dalhousie bad. That would be phenomenal.
After last night,
give me Trackety and Miramichi. I would love to see Trackety and Miramichi. Can I get the Hawks and JCs again, please? That's always fun. Give me the Hawks and Spring Hill. That would be fun again. Like the Hawks and Spring Hill. I don't know why. They're two teams that definitely don't like each other. I'd take Trackety and Spring Hill. Those two teams do not like each other. Bobby Davis busted that guy's face open. Like that would be a great series. Shippigan and Trackety, Shippigan and Miramichi, Shippigan and Dalhousie would be great. There's a lot of like the potential playoff matchups and the stories coming out of this season. There's a lot, but in my opinion, River Valley and Dalhousie, what the hell? Those two teams just don't like each other.
Yeah. I think once the final game of the season happens, the very final game of the season happens, and we have a picture of what it's going to be, I think there's going to be an excitement on the podcast that's just like almost like fantasy booking a wrestling card. We're going to get all excited.
Fantasy booking where the hell we're going to go to cover these games and who's where. There's going to be a lot of travel come playoffs. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get back to Dalhousie until playoffs. They've only got a couple more home games, and there's a lot of other games we want to see.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Dalhousie again and Shippigan, though.
Yeah.
So Shippigan's got 2 more home games. We've got to get to 1.
Yeah, absolutely. The only negative I can say about going to Dalhousie is the time driving.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in a sardine can. By the time I got out of Cheryl's car, my back was hurting, my head was hurting. Right around the end, when we got to Rishibuktu, this goofball over here started screwing with his sister and putting the park brake on, and just like he's happy, he's home. I still have an hour drive to Bucktouche because the weather's not good. And the rare times that I get mad, I got mad on this day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, let her drive. Let me go home. And you just laughed so hard. You're like, this is what I do, baby.
So we got to Rishibukto. She got off the highway. I pretended I was going to put her parking brake on, but I didn't put it on. And
No,
then
but
she had
it
to
like
check
got
it.
in her head, and she just stayed there. And I'm like, move.
Then I pretended I was going to shift it into neutral. She was at another stop sign, and I didn't shift it into neutral. So basically, I just messed with her by not actually messing with her. Yeah, I was just, I don't know, man. I think I was so tired.
Yeah.
We thought about stopping in Bathurst both times we went to Dalhousie because, it's a little bit of a ways, but there's something about waking up the next morning and not having to drive anymore.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Like waking up this morning and being in Bathurst would have kind of sucked a little bit because then we would have had that hour and a half drive back.
Yeah.
But there's no really right or wrong way to go about that drive, right? Like if you stay somewhere, you wake up and you're not at home. If you make the drive, man, it's 5 hours of driving in a day, but ultimately, it's worth it.
Absolutely. I'd kind of like to spend a time in Bathurst at one time, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think next time we're probably going to break it up. Well, hopefully next time it'll be playoffs, so maybe we'll do like Dalhousie and then stop in Bathurst for a night, and then the next night maybe we'll drive to Tracadie or Spring Hill for a game, so it'll be like a portion of the way between the two cities.
Yeah. So
logistically, there's a lot of things to plan.
Yeah. Oh, and we will. We're gonna cover this the best we can because the fan base is they're the real stars here because the fan base has just been fabulous.
Yeah, the league has some crazy good fans, and everybody's supporting the podcast, so it's been good. Yeah. What's the last thing, Corey?
2 more things.
All right.
Player of the week.
Well, I mean, you already know.
Peter Traynor.
Yeah, of course.
Peter Traynor, an 8-point game. You're not going to beat that. Nope. When I was writing my notes, I was like, Alex Arsenault, maybe Robbie Graham, 5-point night for him. Then I saw an 8-point night. I was like, yeah, no, it's Peter Traynor. He might be my favorite player on that team right now.
He's a great player. He's very talented. There's a lot of guys on River Valley that I enjoy watching, though. So,
yeah. Adam Crow's another one. David Brewer's another one.
Brewer's so talented.
Benji Curtis, another one that's he seems like a mean pit bull on the ice. Like he's some
good hits, eh?
Oh, I don't fight to begin with. I'm not tough. A little girl could beat me up. All right. That's how untough I am. I would not pick a fight with this guy to save my own life.
I agree. He's I don't think I'd want to mess with him. And just when he lays that hit along the boards, it's heavy. It crushes. So yeah, no. What's the last note?
Our results of the games.
The Lucky Looney.
The Lucky Looney. It was a little lucky for you.
I love this Looney.
So myself and Corey both went 2-1.
Yeah, buddy.
On different games. So we both picked Elsie, and Elsie did win. I picked Tracadie won. And last night with the coin flip, Corey got River Valley right.
Yeah, buddy.
And I think a lot of Dalhousie fans would say throw that Looney in the trash.
And I would say this is a great Looney. So it's a fine Looney. It's actually a pretty clean Looney, too, which is kind of weird. Yeah. It's one of those Loonies that has the Olympic rings on it, too, which is nice. I'm going to put it right here, and we'll be using that again next episode.
You know what? You think I should do that, too? Because I got one with the Montreal Canadiens logo right behind me.
No, I don't think so. I think you got to make your picks legit, and I'll just flip for it.
All right. And it seems to be working for me because here are the standings as of right now. So, moi, 24 and 22.
Not bad.
Not bad. You have the mirror image, though. 22 and 24.
Again, not bad. I'm 2 games behind.
2 games behind. So, I'm 2 games ahead. You're 2 games behind. 2 wins for you brings you at 500. Or, you know what I mean.
Do I? Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you mean. I'll get a couple wins next week, and you'll get a couple extra losses, and we'll be tied going into the last couple of weeks of the season.
Sure.
Yes.
That loony's like a monkey's paw, by the way.
What's that?
That loony's like a monkey's paw.
That loony is like Maggie the monkey from TSN back in the day, which makes you James Duthie. Or me, James Duthie. I don't know. Make somebody James Duthie. Corey, it's been a good episode. Thanks for coming to Dalhousie, man. We had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the drive, I can't wait to get there again.
Oh, the drive was the only negative part. Dalhousie was fantastic. The people, the games, just a shout out to Dalhousie. We will be
popcorn.
back.
Oh my God. I got the popcorn at the rink. They have popcorn in the corner that like they're selling. That's phenomenal popcorn. No complaints there. Yeah, we'll be back for sure. This weekend coming, we get to go to Miramichi. I can't wait for Friday. It's gonna be a blast.
Yep, it'll be fun.
We'll hear how Corey liked his Chig's pizza next episode, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's in the deep freeze right now, but it's not going to stay there too long.
Beautiful. Corey, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.